Good afternoon, everyone. How are we? It's a Thursday afternoon. We're in October. That would make it the 22nd of October, I think. How is everybody doing today? I thought I would come on and do a video whilst I am on lunch at work. So, if you watch this regularly, you know I'm John. You know this is EMPS, Empowering Survivors. If you're watching this live, that's where this will be. If you are watching it in catch-up, you will either find us on EMPS or you'll be watching it on Talk and Thrive Stigma Fighters on our YouTube channel. If you get a chance, please go across to YouTube, just type in Talk and Thrive Stigma Fighters, and away you go. You'll see the work that we're doing on there, and we're going to start to grow. Hello Emma, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you for watching. What to talk about today? Well, there's only one place to really talk about, isn't there? And this is the impending lockdown situation where we're going into different tiers. We are currently, I think, where I live, tier 2. Tier 3 could happen. What does tier 3 mean? It means there's going to be implications for people's salaries, people's jobs, people's livelihoods. What do you do? How does the government balance this out against everybody? What about mental health services? So basically, here's what I've got to say today. Right now, the country is gearing up for a wave of COVID illness. Whatever your view of COVID, whatever your view, there is another wave of it. That's fact. This means there is going to be pressure on NHS to prioritise COVID over that of other services such as mental health, which is why we at Talk and Thrive do these peer groups. Not only do we do peer groups, but we also do these videos. So we try and encourage people to show that there are ways through. We try and encourage people, if you are struggling with frustration caused by lockdown, if you are struggling, hi Dawn, how are you? If you're struggling with getting out and about, we're here for you. We're here to talk to you. We will take a call anytime. We absolutely will. We might not be able to answer straight away, but we will answer, that's for certain. The thing is, Talk and Thrive aren't going to capture every single mental health issue going, mental health peer group. We just aren't. So in our area alone, if you need a peer support group meeting and you want to go face to face, look out for what, hi Rashad, how are you mate? Look out for what we're doing, Talk and Thrive. Look out for It's Worth Talking About, and look out for Missing Piece. So you've got It's Worth Talking About, you've got Missing Piece, and of course you've got us at Talk and Thrive. We're trying to give Keighley a different position as to what it's known for, and we're trying to make it known for being a hub for mental health recovery. When I was going through what I was going through, I had to be put on waiting lists. I had to be waited for psychiatrists, psychologists, psychotherapists, when really all I needed was somebody to talk to. So you still have to go through your waiting list with the NHS, and they do an amazing job. We're not replacing what they do, and we never can. We will signpost you to the right place, but we will supplement services that you may already attend. At Talk and Thrive, we are very, very concerned that lockdown may prove problematic for people who are already struggling to access people. So here's what we're going to do, and I'm going to announce this right now. In the next couple of weeks, we are going to be doing Talk and Thrive meetings. Hi June, hi Adrian. Talk and Thrive meetings, and we're going to be doing them online. We're going to be using Zoom, I think, because it's free. We're going to be using Zoom. We're going to be asking people to come on. Ideally, we would like you to show your face, but we're choosing Zoom because you can hide your face if you so choose. It's just, we feel that, my personal view, as somebody who once would have hidden his face from public view, is if you are looking at people, it allows you to familiarise yourself who you're talking to, who you're talking with, and in turn, it might just help you build a friendship. And it might help you build something over and beyond what the purpose of the meeting does. So we are very, very conscious that Talk and Thrive has an online community. We are very conscious that You give us our time when we do these videos. You support us. It's time for us to support you who watch us and who've never been to meetings that we do. Question, my social worker has referred me for DBT therapy. Does it work? DBT, it will depend on you, Don. And that's not being dismissive. It could work. I'd certainly, my honest answer to you, Don, is give it a go. Without knowing, without trying, you'll never know. It could be the thing that just works for you. And it might just be the thing that changes your life. It might not, but unless we try these things, we don't know. DBT certainly isn't going to make things worse, I don't believe. Otherwise, people wouldn't recommend it to you. It's whether or not it's the thing that you need. But go into it with open arms, open eyes, open ears, and I believe that you'll get some benefit from it for certain. Issues at the moment that I'm seeing out there. Lots of areas up north are being pushed into tier 3, and that is because the virus or pandemic or plandemic, if you are of a conspiracy mindset, and that isn't being dismissive of you, that's just how it is. The official line is it's not a conspiracy, so therefore anything that isn't the official line would therefore be classed as a conspiracy. We are going into tier 3s and people are struggling. It's struggling because there is a rapid rate of spike in the north. And if I've heard right today, Nottingham's about to go into tier 3 this afternoon or get announced to go into tier 3. That tells me that we have started to push downwards towards the country end. And I don't hate to look like a weatherman there, but if it's going down here, if it's in Nottinghamshire, it's going to go further. And I believe that you're going to have more counties in tier 3. Now, people are saying that it's unfair in the north, but equally, if you are down south and you are in a place where the R number is significantly below 1, why should you be put on tier 3 restrictions? And I kind of agree with that view. And it'll be like, if it goes to plan, if the virus goes down towards the other end of the country, what you should find is, if these measures have worked up here, as we come out of tier 3 back to tier 2 and have more freedom, you should find down south still being in tier 3 and the virus working that way. I believe that is how it's going to work. I could be completely wrong, but it's the only thing that seems to make sense to me right now. Dawn, a year's commitment I got to make for DBT therapy. Give it a go, Don. Give it a go. It could be the best thing you've ever done. So Dawn's panicking about another lockdown. We are in tier 2. Dawn, if there is a lockdown, there'll be a lockdown. This is why we're getting Talk and Thrive online meetings set in place. I'll be facilitating them, likely with Jim. We will be running them. What we want to do is, this will be the only meetings that we will consider doing on a mixed basis, and we're going to be doing it on a mixed basis, males and females, because it's going to be how mental illness, mental health, mental well-being arising out of lockdown. That's what we will be discussing. If there are other issues that are highlighted, we will talk to you separately and we will signpost you to the right place. But we are absolutely determined to try and help people, to try and support people, to try and show people that we are here for you, to show that we are listening to you, and to show that we will give what's needed, what's necessary of us to support you. The one thing that we're not sure yet is when we do this. Do we do it on an evening during the week? Do we do it on a weekend? Do we do it on a Monday? We don't know. We're going to think about it. We're going to sort of get it done. October is World Mental Health Month, so I would think we will be starting in November. We know it's important to people that you have somewhere to go. We know it's important that you feel you are part of something, and we know it's important that you don't feel isolated. These are all things and experiences that I have felt over the years that I am determined never to let anybody else feel if I can get away with that, because it's horrendous to feel like that. Another thing that we will be pushing coming up soon is I will be talking a lot more, because I believe that lockdown does cause problems. I will be going a lot more into domestic violence, be that emotional or physical. because I believe people need to be aware of the signs in the home, and if it's happening, you need to be able to reach and you need to be able to talk, and that's what we are trying to support. Again, we'll be able to talk to you, but if you need proper support, we will signpost you and we will get you that support. We will get you the support that we can get you. But we need to understand details first. But sometimes people aren't necessarily aware that they're even in a relationship that is what you might call emotionally violent, domestically violent, physically violent. So it's kind of bringing awareness to it. I keep saying the stats as it stands. 1 in 4 women suffer domestic violence. 1 in 6 men suffer domestic violence. That clearly indicates we are in a genderless crime. It is a genderless crime perpetuated by bullies, perpetuated by people who believe they can get away with it. As a man, I stand up and I say I will never ever back or condone systemic domestic abuse, systemic domestic violence, systemic emotional abuse. Do I believe people can recover from it? I'm not sure. If people have recovered from it, I would be interested to have a conversation with you, because I might be able to learn how you recovered from it, and I might be able to learn how I can help and support people who need support and help. Because one thing's for certain, here at Talk and Thrive, we will always take the side of the victim, without a shadow of a doubt. That's what we when we set up EMPS, well, when Andy and Jim set up EMPS and I got asked to come along, EMPS, Empowering Survivors. Talk and Thrive, we will empower victims, we will empower survivors of domestic and emotional abuse, but ultimately we're also empowering survivors of mental illness, and we are thriving when we have mental well-being. And that's why we call Talk and Thrive, because we believe by talking your mental well-being will thrive, but you have to begin to talk. It's not always going to be comfy. When we set up the meetings, the online meetings, it's going to be difficult because not everybody will want to speak, and it could be the first meeting could be incredibly awkward. It may be that you'd want to disguise your face. I'd recommend that you don't, because I do believe these meetings serve a bigger purpose than just discussing mental health lockdown. It means you familiarise yourself with someone. I believe if you familiarise yourself with someone and you've got a look at, you know what they look like, I believe you can form a friendship with people because you can associate a name with a face. So that's the long-term aim that we want to go. We are building a community. We are building a thriving community, and we want to keep going and we want to keep growing. Jim and I have both alluded to the fact that there is something coming down the pipe on a Sunday night that is going to be huge. We can't talk about it yet. I've asked the question, can I start to mention that we have been asked to do this? So I'm waiting to hear back. Believe you me, as soon as I hear that yes I can, I'll be talking about it relentlessly. In much the same way that I'm talking about Talk and Thrive Stigma Fighters over on YouTube. Here's the thing, there's going to be a lot more pre-recorded content going onto the YouTube channel, which is why I'd like to subscribe. For example, somebody earlier this week lost their life. They'd battled with depression and alcoholism for a while and they lost their life. So I'll be doing a 5-minute video explaining why alcohol and depression can, and I say can, cause people to take actions they wouldn't normally take. It's a very, very sad state of affairs. I have to remember that not everybody suffers my illness, and not everybody, and I can't help everybody, because everybody deals with alcohol in a different way. In our local area, you have got groups. You've got Talk and Thrive peer groups with a tea and coffee based approach. You've got It's Worth Talking About, and you've got Missing Peace. Missing Peace are a peer group. They are groups, they get together, they help people. It's Worth Talking About are a more of a pint and a chat type group. That's a group that I personally wouldn't go to, but that's because of my demons with alcohol. That isn't because I dislike or disrespect what they are doing. That's just because I couldn't put myself in that position. I'm 12 years sober and I'd still feel myself at risk. That being said, somebody watching this now might feel that they would benefit from going and having a chat over a pint. And if that's what you feel you need to do, it's worth talking about, contact Ryan Anderton or Andy Clements, or it's worth talking about. I think they've got a message page and they'll be able to provide you the details of their meetings. We strongly believe that we need to support every peer support group in the area. We have to support every initiative around mental health and mental well-being that comes up, and that's what we're going to do. We are going to help and we are going to support. These groups are absolutely vital. And what I would say to somebody is suicide is the option of last resort. Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the option of last resort. It's the final decision that you will make before you end your own life. Before you do that, would you please consider giving one of the peer groups a go? Would you consider that? Would you consider watching our videos, seeing if we are relatable, seeing if there's something that you feel, see if you feel you could talk to us? It'd be amazing if you could sort of look at what we do and you think we're right for you. But whilst you've watched this video, you might have heard about It's Worth Talking About and their approach with a pint and a chat. If that is something that you feel you should do, get yourself down to It's Worth Talking About. They've got groups cropping up all over the place. We're kind of guided by our vendors as to when we can reopen groups, and we are reopening them slowly but surely. It's Worth Talking About opening, and they have more open at the moment, so they've got vendors who are just different to where we go by the nature of what they do. But please, whatever you do, choose a group. Choose a group. Go give it a go. It might just be the thing that saves your life. It might be the thing that turns your life around. It might just be the thing that allows you to wake up tomorrow morning when you might not have been planning on waking up. With people passing away and taking their own lives, it's clear that there are people falling through the net, so to speak. It's clear that we need to not only advertise what we do, but we need to advertise what other groups do. We need to give people options. We're all doing the best that we can. Our group's born out of our experience through sexual abuse, but we believe that could link in to mental health, and it does. June's just made a very good point. Emotional blackmail plays a big part in domestic violence and domestic abuse. It does. Emotional blackmail is one of the worst things that can happen. Nobody should be subjected to emotional blackmail. If we look at how we communicate with one another, if we just change that slightly, I believe things can change for the better. I really do. Sometimes people just get really worked up and they think that nobody loves them, nobody cares. The guy who lost his life earlier this week, I've been sort of monitoring this, and his friends are devastated, his family is devastated, and this is the thing. Always remember, if you take the option of last resort, there is no starting again. There is no reset button. There is nothing like that. You've made a final decision, and you will be bitterly, bitterly missed. I promise you, bitterly missed. And nobody needs to go through that. You know, you could be dealing with so many different things. You could be struggling with lockdown. You could have child access issues. You could have debt issues. You could have drug issues, drink issues. You could have... you could be worrying that you're never going to get a job. You could be worrying that you're never going to get out of your flat, out of your house. And all of these things are problematic, and we're aware of that. But we're asking you to please reach out. Please reach out, because we don't want to lose anybody else. We really don't. I keep plugging it, which is Talk and Thrive Stigma Fires over on YouTube. It's going to be a lot more information based. I'm going to be putting more information on there to explain the links between alcohol and depression. That'll be my first one. As we move into November and we start talking more about domestic violence, I'll be putting more 5-minute videos in there. Once we get up to 1,000 subscribers, we can start doing lives on there like we do on here. The lives that we'll be doing on there will be more podcast, videocast, whichever terminology you prefer. So we have got plans to grow. Yeah, so I'm going to go back to work. So it's a short video today, but I wanted to do one because I didn't know if I'd have time later, but I believe it's important to get these videos out to keep the message going. So just remember, we are healthcare professionals. We're not. We don't have a qualification, we have experience, and that's why we are a peer support group. If you know somebody who's struggling, tell them to look at who we are, look at our videos. If we're relatable, they'll get in touch. If you believe they would react to us contacting them, get in touch. If you believe that you like what we're doing on videos, but you don't like the coffee and tea approach at a group, keep watching our videos, get yourself down to It's Worth Talking About, or contact Missing Peace. Just please contact somebody. We are Talk and Thrive. We will help you. It's Worth Talking About will help. Missing Peace will help. That's what we're all geared up to do. I want, as always, thank you for taking your time to watch. Thank you for giving you our time. We're about to start giving you our time back to set up online peer support groups, especially during lockdown. I don't know what the limit is. I don't know how many would be interested, but we will be doing this. But just remember, for those sessions in particular, it will be discussing mental health born out of lockdown. It'll be a joint meeting, but it will be because we are discussing mental health during lockdown, and I believe that is a commonality between males and females, and that's why we'll be taking that approach. You've been watching EMPS, Empowering Survivors. I'm John. I hope you have a lovely Thursday, and I'll be back tomorrow with a video. I just don't know what time. I'm sorry that I'm not being consistent with the timings at the moment, but I believe it's more important to get the message out than necessarily have a time at the moment. Yeah, that's kind of what I would just want to say for now. So thank you very much, and be back tomorrow.